And good morning. It's Thursday. It's a bright, sunshiny day, and I'm Frank Spillers with Rural Community Solutions. At Rural Community Solutions, we assist your community in building family-friendly, youth-centered places that attract people, that want to live, work, and play in your community. So we specialize in working with rural areas, rural communities under 8,000 people, or counties under 20,000 people. Now, why would we do that? Is because those are the places that people choose to live that want a rural experience. They're the towns that have something to offer. They're the towns that have character. They're the towns where people can thrive. But what about those towns that have a trend line of declining population, have had a trend line of declining population for a long time? So you have to go back and you have to look at your trend lines. You have to look at your population, and you have to look at a lot of demographics to find out how your community is doing over time. Because the culture of your community is the result of you doing the same things all the time in the same way. Now, Einstein said doing the same things in the same way and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And so look at your actions during the day. Here you are, because 95% of actions, either in your individual or in your community, 95% of those actions are habits, or they're just subconscious. Those are things that you have always done, things you always do, and you repeat them day in and day out, day after day after day. So look at your day. I'm going to take an individual for a moment. Look at your day. You as an individual, you wake up every morning. Most of the time, you wake up every morning at the same time. If you have an alarm clock, it wakes you up. You turn over, you turn off your alarm clock with pretty much the same gesture, the same finger that you use every day. And so that goes on, and that's how you wake up. What's your first thought? What do I have to do today? Or I hope my day is different, and here's that problem that I went to sleep with last night, and I'm going to be thinking about it again. And so you get up, and you might put on your favorite slippers. You might go to your favorite robe, put that on, walk to the restroom, do what you need to do in the restroom. You go downstairs or you go out into the kitchen. You start making your coffee. You can start doing these things in the dark or with your eyes closed, because it's the same thing that you do day in and day out. You leave the house about the same time every morning because you need to be to work at that specific time or open your business at that specific time. You start going the same way down the same street. You get in the same car, you turn it on, and you move, and you're going down the same street in the same town. You look at the same scenery, and you're just moving. And pretty soon you're driving to work, or you're driving to where you need to go, and you don't even remember how you got there because it was subconscious and you were doing it in an automatic way. That's how your day started. So how is your day going to be different from yesterday? Because we have between 60 and 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90 to 95% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. So you don't leave yourself very much room for new thoughts. You don't leave yourself very much room for doing things in a different way so you can get different results. So take just one thing and try it differently tomorrow. Look at your habits, and what would you like to do differently during the day? What would you like to do different tomorrow? So, and then when you do that, when you pick out one thing you want to do different, pick out a result that you want to have different, that result, pick that out. And then say, okay, if I'm going to get this result, what action do I need to do differently today? And then focus on that one action, doing it differently. Now, over the next course of, I don't know, 60 to 90 days, maybe 20, 30, it differs by person, but 20 to 30 days, you can change a habit pretty well. Focus on that one thing 100% of the time over the course of time until you can do it automatically without thinking about it. Then it becomes a new habit. Then you're starting to get new results. Now, is it easy? It's easy for some. I don't know if it's easy for some, or for you. That's something you have to determine to make up your mind. So as you live in your community, and your community is doing the same things in the same way and expecting different results, how do you then live in that community? Now, here's the word for the day. This is what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at the word of the day as trust. Trust. As you live in your community and you look at your community, can you trust the actions of your community to get you and to help you get to where you want to get? Trust is the combination of your community knowing you, knowing where you want to go, and helping you get there, and having a relationship with you. So when you have a relationship, when a community builds its relationship with people, and the community then learns how to support that person's passions and purpose and knows their value, that person, you as your community member, can trust the community. You build trust. In other words, trust is an assurance and it's a reliance on the character. Okay, so the character of the community and your citizens that live there build trust, right? It's the ability or the strength, it's reliance on the character, it's reliance on the ability, it's reliance on the strength that the truth is of something. There is truth there. Okay, so it's assured reliance on character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. Your reliance on someone or something. The reliance on they are walking their talk. The reliance on they will do what they say they will do. The reliance on you have confidence in what they say. So if a community does not have the trust of its citizens, you will leave. People will leave. So you can tell if your community has trust or not by your population trend lines. You will tell if your community has trust or not by are you leaving, or are you losing your youth? Are your youth moving away, maybe going to school, but not coming back? Because they don't trust the environment. They don't have the confidence in the place. They don't have the confidence that this place is going to help me get to where I need to go. So how do you build that trust? How do you build that trust? Just think about a relationship you are in with a special person. It could be your wife, it could be your husband, it could be a long-term relationship. Do you have trust in that relationship? Do you have trust in that person? Because if you build a positive relationship, if you have confidence in the actions of that person, if you have confidence and the ability in that character, you have the reliance on that character, you have the reliance on the ability, you have reliance on the strength of someone, of that person, you build trust. Now, how do you build that reliance on somebody that you want that relationship with. And so your community then can build that trust by helping you, by knowing what you want, or knowing what the citizens want. So that's engagement. How do you engage your public to build trust in your community? Okay, so in a relationship, and that's one of our pillars, is relationships. In a relationship, trust is more important than love, because trust will enhance your love. Why do you fall out of love with somebody? Because you lose your trust. Why do you fall in love with somebody? Because you can trust them. You can trust their character. And when that trust is broken, then all of a sudden you start to question your love. You question your confidence in that individual to have them do what they say. So you could love your community until you don't trust them anymore, and then you fall out of love with that community. And when people are falling out of love with your community, they look for something else, because people want that sense of belonging. People need love. People need love, and people need trust. Trust builds love. So if you want people to love your community, if you want people to love where they live, if you want people to love you as an entrepreneur, if you want people to love your business, then you have to build a relationship with them so they trust you. So think about where you do business. It's consistent on, you walk in the door, you love going into that place. Why? Why? Is because when you walk in that door, you can trust the environment. You can trust how you will be treated. You can trust who's going to wait on you. You can trust the quality of the product. You can trust that what you buy, what you exchange your money for, will work. And that is trust. That is building that relationship. This is why people don't buy on price. They buy on feeling. And feeling and values trust is a feeling and a value. People will buy who they trust. People will look at the product and they will know it's a good quality product, but they might not trust the salesperson selling it, because that's the car they want, and that's the item that they want in the car, but they're not trusting the salesperson. And so there's just something about that. I'm just not going to buy it. There's just some feeling. I just don't trust it. So they go someplace else. They might buy the exact same product from a different salesperson because they trust them. They have a relationship with them. They built the relationship. That person took time to build a relationship. That person worked with other people to build that relationship. That's an environment. So people do not buy from you if they don't trust you. You might have the best product in the world. You might have the best quality product in the world. You might have the best community in the world, but they're not going to buy from you because they do not trust you. You need to build the relationship. You need to build the engagement. You need to understand your customer. You need to understand who's living in your community. You need to understand why a person is buying and making that decision from you. And to do that, you need to build that relationship, because a relationship with no trust is like a car with no gas. You can stay in it, but you're not going to go anywhere. So trust, it's a bottom line. It's that value of a person's thought process that will help move them forward. So think about that. Do you walk your talk? In other words, do you say you're going to do something and do it and follow through? Are you in a relationship with your community? Are you in a relationship with anybody? And say you're going to do something, say you're going to act a way, and then follow through so that other person will trust that you will do what you say. Do you live in a community you can trust? Do your leadership do what they say? Do you go to a church that you can trust? Does your church do what it preaches? We can only build trust when we have good relationships and we give confidence to the other person that we're trusting. And once that confidence is broken, it can be rebuilt over time. But it's just like cracking a vase. You can glue it back together, but that crack is always going to be there. It's always going to have that little weak spot in it. So don't make cracks in your relationship. Keep them strong. Build a new relationship. Build on something that will build that trust. And keep going and walk your talk. Have your community walk its talk. That's the way you build trust. And entrepreneurs need to have a trusting relationships to where they know that when they build their business in your community, they will succeed because they are supported. They can have the support of the community. They will have support of their customers. They will have support and knowledge of their product. And if they fail, they will know that the support's going to be there because they have a relationship with the community. If you have a child and that child is learning how to walk, it's going to fail every once in a while. It's going to fall down. Do you ridicule that child for falling down, of learning how to walk? No, you don't. You start to encourage them. Get up, try it again. Let me help you. That's what an entrepreneurial community and supporting an entrepreneurial economy, that's how you start to trust your community. You know that if you start a business in that community that you can trust, that is focused on entrepreneurship, that if you fail, they will help pick you up, help mentor you, help teach you, they will dust you off, and they will encourage you to try again. That's an entrepreneurial community. So when you become an entrepreneurial community and you start to think like an entrepreneur, then you start to have value as an entrepreneur. You start to build relationships. You start to understand your people, and you build a sense of trust between you. It's the same way in a relationship. If a person fails, do you ridicule them, or do you pick them up, dust them off, and encourage them to try again? Do you support them, or do you just point at them and say, you failed? Walk your talk. That's the theme. We have a brand of building civility. We have a brand at Rural Community Solutions of helping build communities, to build trust, to build unity, and to build great policy that helps build an entrepreneurial economy within a rural community. You can trust us. We walk our talk. We use words that will support you. We help build value in your community that will support entrepreneurs. We help build value in the community that will support your goals, your vision. We help value in the community that will help transform your rural community and transform your trend lines to be positive, to help grow. So if that's you, give me a comment. Let me know, frank@ghorizons.com, or you can use kim@ghorizons.com, and let us have a conversation with you on how we can help you start to change those trend lines and build your population and help and assist you to attract the population that you want to have grow within your community. It's all about thinking like an entrepreneur, but it takes that spark plug, that one person or that one group of people that really take this by the bull by the horns and say, we're in, we're committed, we're going to do what it takes. So if you're that person, let me know. I'm Frank Spillers with Rural Community Solutions. You can catch us every day at 11:30 a.m. Central Time on our YouTube channel at Rural Community Solutions TV. You can come to the Facebook page and like the Facebook page. Give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know, if I'm way off base. Let me know how you're feeling about what you're hearing and how we can help your community. Or you can catch us on our podcast at Think Like an Entrepreneur, Become a Spark Plug at anchor.fm/Frank Spillers. So we hope you have a great day. Walk your talk and build trusting relationships. Have a good day. Bye-bye.